On the 5th of October 2022, Xabi Alonso was appointed manager of Bayer Leverkusen. At that point, they were second bottom in the Bundesliga. It was their second worst start to the season since 1978, exactly 557 days later. Bayer Leverkusen, yes, the champions of Germany, lifting their first Bundesliga title in their existence in 120 years and doing it unbeaten thus far. It is 43 games unbeaten for Bayer Leverkusen, and they are on the cusp of making history, on the cusp of something unprecedented in the history of the game. Can they go unbeaten the entire season in all competitions, in the Bundesliga, in the DFB Pokal where they face Kaiserslautern in the final, and of course 1 foot in the semi-finals of the Europa League? With that, I welcome you to another exciting edition of Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebolise. It promises to be another exciting show. We have so much in store for you, both from the local scene and of course the foreign scene. I'm not doing this alone. I have my guy in the building, David. I'll be introducing him right after this break. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is Sports Pizza. Edwin in the building alongside David. David, welcome to the show. Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, Edwin, pleasure to be here as always. Well, it's not a good time as an Arsenal fan. It's been a long time we felt like this, and it now feels like we don't want to feel like this ever again.
Come on. We have about 6 or 7 games left. We're just 2 points behind Manchester City.
Yeah, but it's just that feeling that Man City make you
deja vu, right?
Yeah, it feels like. But I hope it's not be like that this season.
All right, we'll get to the European side of football on the second half of the show, but we're going to start at home. You know how we do it? We begin at home. They say charity begins at home, so charity is waiting for us. And this time, David, we're taking it from a different angle. This time, I want us to focus on a player who has been pivotal to the success of Leverkusen this season, and it is Victor Boniface. His opener from the sports ushered in a flurry of goals that sealed the Bundesliga title for Leverkusen. Victor Boniface is at 11 goals in the Bundesliga, 11 assists in the Bundesliga so far. Last season, we saw Victor Osimhen, his namesake, propel Napoli to the Italian Serie A. He won the Capocannoniere. He was voted the best player in the Bundesliga. I don't think Victor Boniface will win the top scorer award. Harry Kane will take that. But his influence to this Leverkusen side can never be understated.
Absolutely. So I think if you're as a Nigerian, the best name to name your child now is Victor, because this is the season of the Victors. But I think it's been very instrumental to what Leverkusen have done. You know, the fact that for those of us that have followed Boniface from his time when moving to Europe, he first went to Bodo Glimt in Norway, and then he had a very difficult time, the weather and adjusting. But his football still did the talking for him, and he got his move to Real Union Saint-Gilloise, and then took it by storm in the Europa League and even in the league, and then now to Bayer Leverkusen. It's a fact that Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso was very adamant that he wanted Victor Boniface. He felt this is the profile of player we want in our attack, and when the period he was absent, they had really big struggles in attack. But I think it shows how important he is, not just the goals, the creativity, the assists he creates. And I think the fact that he started his career as a midfielder, that hold-up play, that general, play as a footballer is what is, instrumental to what Leverkusen have been able to achieve this season.
Last season, Victor Osimhen ended the campaign by winning the biggest individual honor on the continent, the CAF Footballer of the Year. Are we on the threshold of another Nigerian lifting the CAF Player of the Year award? And I'm talking about Victor Boniface.
Well, it looks very likely, because on the wave of when Osimhen also did last season, it was a record-breaking, title, first in 33 years. But this one for Bayer Leverkusen is their first ever, 120-year history of the club. So I think and the impact they actually play. It feels like fine, there's Florian Wirtz and then there's Granit Xhaka, but Victor Boniface has integrated into that team, and the fans love him, and then everything he means to that football club. I think he has everything going for him. And the fact that there has not been any really outstanding African footballer on the continent, or in Europe, and even all across the world that has actually taken the headlines with Boniface has. So I think there's a big shout for him going forward in the next awards.
Do you think if Victor was fit
All season
at the AFCON,
yeah,
do you think the final would have been different? Do you think it would have given us an edge against the Ivorians?
Absolutely. I think throughout the whole tournament, Osimhen would have had a support, somebody that two battering rams that we can use up front. Jose Peseiro had plans to go with a front two at the Nations Cup, Victor Osimhen and Victor Boniface as our two battering rams up front, but the injury was very unfortunate and it meant Osimhen had to do the work all alone. So I think if he had been in that tournament, Nigeria's chances would have been greatly bolstered. And also in that final, especially at the point Osimhen felt completely knackered and he was running on empty, and the support like Victor Boniface would have been instrumental. But there are still more Nations Cup. The next one is quite around the corner, so I think hopefully he stays fit and then he leads us to that tournament. All
right, still with football, but this time we'll be taking a look at the NNL. And we saw ugly scenes in Ogun State, Gateway FC versus Ikorodu City. Game ended 0-0. But we saw manhandling
of the officials,
of referees. And the Ogun State FA, they've come hard on Gateway. They've banished them to Benin. The two fans who were the ringleaders in that mayhem, and one is at large. The other has been arrested. They've been banned from all football venue in Ogun State. At what point do we need to take the lives of this referee serious? At what point, what do we need to do to ensure that stuff like this do not happen? Because if you're an investor and you are seeing things like this, it puts you away.
Yeah, it does. It does. So I think the fact that we bash the English officials every week, but because they are given the platform to thrive and they don't, they keep giving those kind of performance. But the Nigerian referees are really going through a lot. The fact that their security cannot be guaranteed as an official, even in their own dressing room, most times they are not safe because any form of miscreants can get into the dressing room and intimidate. And I think we have not gotten it right. The way we, the NRA, the Referees Association, with the NFF have not done enough for the referees, in the league, and that's why we keep getting the fact that a miscreant can see it as an opportunity to actually attack a match official. It shows that we are not doing the right in security and otherwise for these officials. It's not enough.
And while I quite understand that some of these referees and their decisions can be shady and all that stuff, you also need to understand that when these guys go away from home, they understand the terrain.
Yes.
They understand what is obtainable.
Exactly.
And they know that the only way to come out of here unscathed, without bruises or with my life, is to bend to the wheels of the home fan. Yeah. So, hey, I don't know if this is a clarion call, but we need to do better. We need to do better. Not just for the referees, but it reflects badly on our football when you have scenes like this. Yes, it is not peculiar to Nigeria. But we need to improve on all facets. Finally, from the home scene, Efia Jagba flying the flags of Nigeria in the boxing scene. He's not popular in this part of the world, but hey, he's heavyweight. He defeated his Italian opponent, Guido Vianello, over the weekend. It was a 10-round fight. He retained his WBC heavyweight silver belt, 5 successive wins for Efia Ajagba. We hope to see him land one of those big opportunities.
It's quite close.
Yes, hopefully maybe before a title shot, you get one big fight with the likes of maybe Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder or Joseph Parker. Before you now talk about the Usyk and the Tyson Furies. All right, David, it is time for Nigerian players abroad. We've talked about Victor Boniface, the certain Nathan Teller with Leverkusen. But what do you have for us today?
So in Belgium, Tolu Dari, so he had a very fantastic performance. I remember a few weeks ago he missed a penalty for Genk in their playoff positions, and then they almost missed out on the playoffs. but he got a goal to help them, in this conference. The way the Belgian league is structured, there's a conference position. Everybody fights for position, and I think he got a goal, and it's a good one for him. Also, we had Ato Okonkwo. I talked about him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The fact that he has switched his allegiance in Nigeria, he helped Wrexham back-to-back promotion. Now, it's like a fairy tale run for them. In fact, he was instrumental, ever present for their 20 years.
Kept a clean sheet, right?
He did.
Yeah.
6-0.
6-0.
So I think it's a big deal. The fact that we have a goalkeeper of that stature that we can look to call upon. And then Victor Osimhen, the man of the moment. Fine, they didn't win, but at least he keeps getting the goals, and hopefully he will keep it going to the end of the season. And maybe he might move from Napoli. We hope he does, actually. But it's good for him.
It's time to go on a break. When we come back, there's still a lot in store for you. Welcome back to the second half of the show. Still Sports Pizza, Edwin and David in the building. David, quickly, let's do other sports. In the world of tennis, Stefano Tsitsipas lifted his third Monte Carlo Masters. He started in 4 years, and he's joined the likes of Rafael Nadal and Thomas Muster, players having 3 or more Monte Carlo Masters title.
Yes, an absolutely good one for him. It feels like clay is probably the surface is most comfortable, and he came into this tournament on the back of probably sketchy form over the course 11-6. So over the course of the 2024 season so far, but I think the way he went into this tournament and got to this final also won. Beating guys like Yannick Sinner, the most informed man of 2024, beating him. He dispatched him, and they felt like, okay, what's he going to do? And then Kasparov is also a very specialist on clay, Roland Garros finalist last year. So I think it was a big deal for him, and hopefully he can, use this as a springboard going forward for the rest of this season. It's a good one for him.
Defeated Kasparov 6-1, 6-4 en route to another dominating final at Monte Carlo. To the NBA regular season is over already. We know the teams that have qualified for the playoff, and also the teams that have qualified for the play-in. In the Western Conference, we have Oklahoma City Thunders who topped it. In fact, it was the first time in NBA history where 3 teams went into the final game as a possible number one in that particular conference. It was Oklahoma City Thunders, Denver Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. The top 2 won. Timberwolves lost, and Oklahoma City Thunders are seeded going into the playoffs. The Los Angeles Clippers, the Dallas Mavericks, and of course the Phoenix Suns complete the top 6 who qualified automatically for the playoffs in the Western Conference. For the play-ins, we have New Orleans Pelicans, the Los Angeles Lakers, Sacramento Kings, and the Golden State Warriors. What do you have in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, so in the East, we saw Boston Celtics swashbuckling all throughout the course of the season, though at some point they looked like they were going to stumble, but they saw it through to the end of the season. We had Knicks also in second, Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo in the playoffs as usual. We had Cleveland Cavaliers, we had the Magic and the Pacers completing the top 6. And then for the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th position, we had 76ers, we had the Heat, and we had Bulls and Hawks. So we're looking forward to a fantastic playoff, and also the play-ins to see who gets the spots to also join the guys in the playoffs. Yes,
so we're looking forward to the play-ins. We'll give you all of the updates on Sports Pizza. We'll wrap up the show. Back to football. Let's still shed more light on the historic feat Leverkusen achieved over the weekend. 120 years of existence. In fact, they have a nickname, Leverkusen. In 2002, they lost the Bundesliga title on the final. They lost the DFB Pokal final, and also lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid. In fact, their captain, Michael Ballack, went to the World Cup with Germany and lost the final to Brazil. But this was historic.
Absolutely.
Historic. And David, if they go on to do the unbeaten in the league, in the DFB Pokal, and of course in the Europa League, will it be the biggest individual season in the history of club football?
I really do. I think so. Considering the fact of where Leverkusen are coming from, where they were, when you mentioned it in the introduction, the fact that when Xabi Alonso took the job, they were second from bottom, and then from that, in the space of 1.5 years, they've risen to the very top. So, and also the way they've done it. Some of those players are not your household names, but they've, Xabi Alonso has found a way to bring them together, and it's been remarkable. If they actually go unbeaten all season for a team of that stature, I think it will be the most remarkable feat of club football performance that we have seen.
All right, to the EPL, and yeah, I can see your face. It was a perfect weekend for Manchester City. Yeah. They easily dispatched Luton Town. And guess what? Crystal Palace and Aston Villa did them a favor as they defeated Liverpool and Arsenal respectively. David, for Liverpool and Arsenal, will you say they buckled under pressure? Or we expect more twists and turns until the end of the season?
Well, at this point, it's a cliche, but it's a bit of both, I think, at this point in time. They actually buckle. When you're in a race with somebody and then your opponents conspire to stumble in front of you, you just walk over them. And now City, where it's like they were handed the advantage because both teams lost at home to teams that were going on, some Glasner at Palace has only won 1 in 6 since he was appointed, and then to now go to Liverpool. It seems like they are bogey teams, and bogey teams has now become a team. Villa for Arsenal and then Palace for Liverpool. But I think 3 weeks ago, when Liverpool and City played a draw, Arsenal won, went on top, we said advantage Arsenal. The following weeks after, City and Arsenal played the draw, and then Liverpool went to top, we said advantage Liverpool. Now it's advantage City. So I think there's still more twists and turns over the course of this season. Fine, we've said, okay, City have been here over and over again. Because of the season, narrative has been, oh, this is not the swashbuckling City. But the fact that Arsenal have only lost 1 game in 2024, and then they found themselves 2 points behind City, it means City they are really a monster that are difficult to stop. And that's why everybody is giving City the advantage at this point in time. But this season has shown that, okay, 3-horse race, we've not seen this kind of 3-horse race in a long way. Hopefully, there will still be more twists and turns over the course of this season. Do
you think for Mikel Arteta, the Champions League has proven to be a distraction?
I think so. I think so, because he has not been in this kind of situation before. When the Europa League itself was even a distraction last season, I think the Champions League is more of a bigger distraction. The fact that he's struggling to juggle the squad. I think what he did over the weekend with his formation and his starting lineup was probably trying to juggle things around. You've gone with Kai Havertz in attack and Jorginho and Rice in midfield over the course of the good form since January, and then decided to change it, probably with one eye on the Bayern Munich game. And I think that's what happened. Hopefully he will learn from this, but it's looking like a big obstacle for him to tackle now.
What's your prediction? 6 games left. Man City top, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Because it's Manchester City and we've seen them, there's a reason why they've
won. We are considering defeat already.
There's a reason why they've won 5 of the last 6. They are about to do 4 in a row. There's a reason. It's something that, with Pep Guardiola and the way the mentality, 6 games feels like they can go on a run. Fine, we've not seen them kickstart on that run, but I think at this point, when the advantage now rests completely in their hands, I think we might see that run over the course of the end of this season. All
right, away from the English Premier League, in the Spanish La Liga, as expected, Real Madrid defeated Real Mallorca away from home. Absolutely. We also have Barcelona, who
catch up.
Yes, playing catch up. Went away from home and defeated Cadiz. It's a perfect showdown for the El Clasico.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's just a slight glimmer of hope for Barcelona to overturn that 8-point deficit?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't give them a chance. Even if they defeat Real Madrid in the El Clasico, Real Madrid have built up enough head of steam over the course of this season. The narrative cannot just suddenly change now. I think Madrid have done enough to see themselves through over the line for the course of this season. And for Atletico Madrid, it was important that they defeated Girona, because Athletic Bilbao was breathing down their neck. And for Girona, the way their season just fizzled out. It was expected, actually. They put up a good fight, and we hope to see them in the Champions League. That's the size of today's show. I'm sure you had fun every bit from the start down to the finish. We'll leave you with our video for the week. Thank you, David, as always, for giving us the best analysis. Pleasure, and hopefully, Arsenal can overturn this and put a smile on your face at the end of the season. Remember to follow our social media handles. It is Sports Pizza. From me, Edwin, on your police here. It is bye-bye. And from David, it's goodbye.